Hey guys, it's Yakeru here, and for this, what if I decided to do something different for this what if? So, recently I found out that Clefairy was supposed to be the mascot of people instead of Pikachu, so I decided to make a story revolving around Ash, having Clefairy as his starter. Now for context, the fairy type will exist in this story, despite fairy not being a type at the time of the anime. With that being said, let's get the story started. It was the night before Ash Ketchum's journey began. He was 10 years old, still just a kid with big dreams and a messy room. Posters of famous Pokémon trainers covered the walls. Lance, Agatha, Bruno, all legends he hoped to stand beside one day. His desk was buried under Pokédex cards, half-filled notebooks, and a backpack that looked like it had been packed and unpacked 5 times already. The TV was still on, glowing in the corner of the room. It was playing a classic Pokémon League match, Gengar versus Nidorino. Gengar hovered in the air, eyes glowing, while Nidorino charged forward with a horn attack. Ash was sitting cross-legged on his bed, completely locked in. You could see the fire in his eyes. He wasn't just watching a battle, he was imagining himself in it. He grabbed a Pokeball plush and started acting out his own match, throwing it across the room and knocking over a stack of books. He couldn't decide. He'd been going back and forth for days. Bulbasaur was reliable. Squirtle was cool. Charmander was fiery and fast. Each one had its own appeal, and Ash wanted them all. He flopped back onto the bed, staring at the ceiling, whispering to himself. Tomorrow, I finally get my first Pokémon. That's when his mom Delia stepped in. She was wearing her robe, holding a folded blanket, and giving him that look only mums can give. The one that says, I love you, but you need to chill. She walked over and turned off the TV. Ash, it's almost midnight, she said gently. You need to get some sleep. You don't want to be late tomorrow. Ash sat up startled. But, Mum, I haven't decided which one I want yet. Delia smiled and tucked the blanket around him. You'll have time to decide in the morning. But if you oversleep, you might not get a choice at all. That hit him hard. The idea of missing out on his starter? Unthinkable. You want to be a great trainer, right? She asked. Ash nodded. The greatest. Then start by being a rested one. She kissed his forehead and turned to leave. Good night, sweetheart. I'm proud of you already. Ash then proceeded to go to bed. Morning came faster than Ash expected. The sun was already high over Pallet Town, casting warm light through his bedroom window. Ash was still fast asleep, sprawled across his bed, tangled in his blanket, one arm hanging off the edge. His alarm clock, still on the floor from last night, blinking, broken, silent. It was nearly 9:45 a.m. Professor Oak had started handing out Pokémon at 9. Ash snored loudly, completely unaware. Then came the voice that snapped him out of it. Delia, from downstairs. Ash, wake up! You're going to miss your appointment. Ash shot up like he'd been hit with a thunder wave. His hair was a mess, his eyes wide with panic. Ash rose up, paused, and then proceeded to panic. He scrambled out of bed, tripping over his backpack and landing face first on the floor. He groaned, then sprang up and ran downstairs, still in his pajamas. He didn't even bother brushing his hair. He grabbed a piece of toast and stuffed it into his mouth and bolted towards the door. Delia, handing him his bag. You forgot this? Ash muffled through toast. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Bye. He was out the door in seconds, sprinting through the streets of Pallet Town like his life depended on it. Ash ran past neighbours and nearly collided with a mailman. He didn't stop. He didn't breathe. He just ran. Ash, panting. Please let there be one left. Please. He skidded to a stop in front of Professor Oak's lab. Chest heaving, sweat dripping down his forehead. The front steps of the lab were quiet. Too quiet. Just as Ash reached for the door, it swung open, and out walked Gary Oak. Smug, polished, already holding a Pokeball. Gary, grinning, well, look who finally decided to show up. Ash froze, catching his breath. Ash. Gary? Gary? You're late, Ashy boy. Real trainers show up on time. Ash clenched his fists. Ash. I don't care. I'm here now. I'm getting my Pokémon. Gary smirked and held up his Pokeball, turning it slowly in his hand. Gary. Too bad the good ones are gone. But lucky me, Gramps gave me something special. A specially bred Pokémon. Not something you'd find in the usual lineup. Ash blinked. Ash. What is it? Gary just smiled and walked past him. Gary, wouldn't you like to know? Ash didn't respond. He gritted his teeth and pushed through the lab doors. The lab was quiet when Ash walked in. Professor Oak stood at his desk, scribbling notes, looking up as Ash entered. Professor Oak? Surprised. Ash, you're very late. Ash stepped forward, eyes scanning the room. Ash, please tell me there's still one left. Oak hesitated, then walked to a small containment pod in the corner. It wasn't like the others. It was in a blue and black ball with a moon symbol on it. Professor Oak, there is one more, but she's not your typical starter. She not really recommend for beginner, but I suppose you can have it if you want. Ash, hearing this, immediately say he will take it, not caring what Pokémon it is. Oak sighed as he picked up the ball and pressed the button, releasing a pink Pokémon. Out came a Clefairy. She wasn't smiling, she wasn't curious. She was sitting with her arms crossed, eyes narrowed, tapping her foot like she'd been waiting too long. Clefairy, flatly. Clef! Ash leaned in, eyes wide. Ash. She's beautiful. Professor Oak. Clefairy is rare. As her name suggests, she's a fairy type, and she's got a bit of an attitude. Clefairy turned her head away from Ash, clearly unimpressed. Ash, stepping closer. I'll take her. Clefairy, you're my partner now. Clefairy rolled her eyes. She didn't greet him, she didn't smile. She walked past him like he wasn't even there. Ash, awkwardly. Hi? Clefairy looked him up and down, then turned her back again. Clefairy, dryly. Clef. Oak chuckled. Professor Oak handed Ash Clefairy's ball, along with a Pokédex and some Pokeballs to get started with. Well, she's yours now. Good luck, Ash. You'll need it. Ash watched her walk away, unsure whether to feel proud or rejected. Thanks, Professor Oak. Ash held up the Pokeball and returned Clefairy to her ball. Ash stepped out of Professor Oak's lab, clutching his new Pokeball with both hands. Behind him, the lab doors closed with a soft click. In front of him, the town was waiting. His mum, Delia, stood near the steps with a small crowd of neighbours, the mailman, a couple of kids from down the road. They'd all come to see the new trainers off. Delia lit up when she saw him. Delia, smiling. There's my boy. Did you get your Pokémon? Ash nodded, still catching his breath. Ash, yeah, I did. He held up the Pokeball, then pressed the release. With a flash of light, Clefairy appeared. She didn't pose. She didn't smile. She crossed her arms, looked around, and gave a slow, unimpressed blink. Clefairy, flatly. Clef? The crowd leaned in. Kid, whispering. Whoa! What kind of Pokémon is that? Mailman, don't see those around here often. Delia stepped forward, hands clasped. Delia, she's adorable! Clefairy turned her head away, clearly not interested in compliments. Ash scratched the back of his neck. Ash, awkwardly. She's got a strong personality. Clefairy glanced at him, then turned her back again. Clefairy, dryly. "Clef!" The crowd chuckled. One of the kids giggled. "Kid, she's kinda sassy," Ash sighed. Ash. "Yeah, she's not exactly thrilled to be my partner." Delia knelt down beside Clefairy. Delia, gently. "Well, sometimes the best friendships start with a little friction." Clefairy blinked, then gave a small shrug. Ash looked at her, then at the crowd. Ash, quietly. "I'm gonna try. I'll earn her trust." Clefairy didn't respond, but she didn't walk away either. The crowd began to disperse, wishing Ash luck. Delia gave him a hug and handed him a small lunchbox. "Delia, just in case you forget to eat." "And Ash? Ash? Yeah?" Delia, "I'm proud of you, no matter what." Ash smiled, then looked down at Clefairy. Ash, softly, "Ready to go?" Clefairy gave a slow blink, then started walking ahead of him, without waiting. Ash had officially left Pallet Town. He was on Route 1 now, backpack slung over his shoulder, Pokeball clipped to his belt, and Clefairy walking 5 paces ahead, like she was the one leading the journey. The path was quiet, lined with tall grass and scattered trees. Butterfree floated lazily overhead. A distant Rattata darted through the brush. Ash pulled out his Pokédex, flipping it open with a grin. Ash, "All right, let's learn a little more about you." He pointed it at Clefairy. Pokédex, monotone. Clefairy, the fairy Pokémon. Clefairy are known for their connection to the moon and their mysterious, magical nature. They gather in quiet places to dance under moonlight. Clefairy rolled her eyes. Pokédex continuing. Type, fairy. Moves known, sing, double slap, metronome, and growl. Ash blinked. Ash. Wait, fairy type? I thought that was just a rumour. Pokédex. Fairy types are strong against dragon, dark, and fighting, weak to steel and poison. Ash looked at Clefairy, impressed. Ash. Okay, that's actually kind of awesome. Clefairy gave a little shrug, then turned her back again. As they walked a little farther, when Ash spotted movement in the grass. A wild Pidgey. It fluttered out, pecking at the ground, completely unaware of the two travellers. Ash's eyes lit up. Ash. All right, our first catch. He turned to Clefairy. Ash. Let's go! Use double slap! Clefairy didn't move. She crossed her arms and sat down. Ash. Seriously? Come on. Clefairy, flatly. Clef? Ash groaned. The Pidgey looked up, curious. Ash. Fine. I'll do it myself. He dropped his bag, pulled off his shirt and tried to throw it like a net. It missed. The Pidgey flapped its wings, kicked up a cloud of sand, and blasted Ash right in the face. Ash, coughing, "Ah, my eyes!" The Pidgey flew off, leaving Ash stumbling and blinking through the dust. Clefairy watched the whole thing, unimpressed. Clefairy, dryly. Clef. Ash wiped his eyes and sighed. Ash had just tried and failed to catch a wild Pidgey. Clefairy refused to battle, sitting on a rock with her arms crossed like she was above it all. So Ash, in a moment of frustration, did what any impulsive 10-year-old might do. He picked up a rock and threw it, not at the Pidgey, just in general. A venting toss. But it hit something, a Spearow, and not just any Spearow, a territorial one. The bird turned sharply, eyes narrowing, feathers bristling. It let out a shrill cry that echoed across the trees. Spearow screeching. Spear! Ash froze. Ash, nervous. Uh-oh! From the treetops, more cries answered. One Spearow became 5, then 10. A whole flock emerged, diving toward Ash and Clefairy with fury in their wings. Clefairy stood up startled, but before she could react, the first Spearow struck her with a brutal peck. Then another. Then another. Ash panicked. Ash! Clefairy! She tried to fight back, but the attacks were relentless. Her arms dropped, her glow dimmed. She was overwhelmed. Ash didn't think. He just moved. He dove forward, scooped Clefairy into his arms, and ran. Ash sprinted down the path, dodging branches and flapping wings. The Spearow were in pursuit, screeching and diving. Up ahead, near a river, a red-haired girl was fishing. Misty Ash didn't stop to explain. Ash yelling, "Sorry, I need this!" He grabbed her bike and pedalled off, Clefairy cradled in his arms, wings still chasing them. Misty, furious. "Hey, that's my bike!" Ash didn't look back. The path ended at a steep incline. The bike skidded, crashed, and Ash tumbled forward, shielding Clefairy with his body. They were cornered. Ash looked down. Clefairy was barely conscious, her fur scuffed, her glow flickering. The Spearow circled overhead, ready to strike again. Ash stood up, arms outstretched, placing himself between the flock and Clefairy. Ash, shouting, "If you want her, you'll have to go through me." Clefairy opened her eyes weakly. She saw him, not just standing there, but protecting her. Something shifted. Her glow pulsed. She started to move her fingers back and forth. "Clefairy," softly. "Clef." Her body shimmered, and her fingers glowed as. Metronome activated. The air crackled. A burst of light surged from her tiny hands. Massive, electric, and wild. Zap cannon. The zap cannon hit like a thunderstorm. Clefairy's metronome had summoned it out of nowhere, raw, electric, and devastating. The entire flock of Spearow scattered, feathers flying, cries echoing into the sky. Ash shielded Clefairy with his body, bracing for impact, but when the light faded, the danger was gone. Almost. One Spearow remained. He was different, hovering just above the ground, wings twitching, body trembling. His feathers shimmered faintly, golden brown with a pale underbelly. A shiny Spearow. Rare, wild, and angry. A scar ran across his right eye, jagged and deep. He was the leader, the one who had cooled the flock, and now he was the last one standing. Ash looked at him closely. The zap cannon had hit hard. The Spearow was barely upright, breathing heavy, one wing dragging. Ash didn't feel fear anymore. He was more concerned about the condition of the sparrow. He reached slowly into his bag and pulled out a Pokeball. "Ash," softly, "you're strong, but you're hurt. And if I leave you here, you might not survive." He tossed the Pokeball. It hit the Spearow gently. A flash of red light, one shape, 2, 3. Click. Caught. Ash stared at the ball in his hand, stunned. Ash, quietly, "I caught him." Clefairy, still weak, looked up and gave a faint nod. She didn't say anything, but she understood his reasoning for catching that monster. Ash helped Clefairy to her feet. They stood together, bruised but bonded, watching the sky begin to clear. Then something shimmered overhead. A massive, radiant bird soared through the clouds, wings glowing with red, green, and gold. Its tail streamed behind it like fire. It flew with grace, power, and something ancient. Ash gasped. "Ash, what is that?" He pulled out his Pokédex and pointed it skyward. Pokédex confused. Entry not found. Pokémon unknown. Ash blinked. Ash unknown? But it was real. I saw it. Clefairy stared too, eyes wide. The bird vanished into the horizon. Ash lowered the Pokédex, still stunned. Ash, softly. Guess there's some Pokémon that even Professor Oak doesn't know about. Ash and Clefairy walked slowly down the path, the Pokeball containing the shiny Spearow clipped to his belt. Clefairy leaned against him as he carried her, still recovering, but no longer distant. Eventually, Ash made it to Viridian City. The city was busy, people walking, Pokémon trotting beside trainers, shops open, signs glowing. But Ash had one priority. He spotted a familiar blue uniform. Ash, panting. "Excuse me, Officer Jenny?" She turned, adjusting her cap. "Officer Jenny, yes?" Ash, "Where's the Pokémon Center?" She pointed down the street. Officer Jenny, 2 blocks that way, big red roof, can't miss it." Ash nodded and ran. Ash bursted through the doors, nearly collapsing at the counter. Ash, "My Pokémon, they need help." Nurse Joy looked up, startled, then quickly took Clefairy from his arms, along with the Pokeball he handed her, and placed her on a healing tray. The machine hummed, lights blinked, Clefairy's glow slowly returned. Ash slumped into a chair, finally breathing. The door slammed open. Misty, furious. "You!" Ash looked up. Misty stood in the doorway, holding the twisted remains of her bike. The wheels were bent. The frame was cracked. It looked like it had been through a war. "Misty, you stole my bike." Ash, standing. "I didn't steal it. I borrowed it. I had to save Clefairy." "Misty, you could have asked." "Ash, there wasn't time. We were being attacked." Clefairy hopped off the healing tray, now fully recovered, and crossed her arms again. Clefairy, flatly. "Clef." Before Misty could respond, the lights flickered. Smoke filled the room. The front doors burst open. Jessie, "Prepare for trouble." James, "And make it double." Team Rocket proceeded to say their famous catchphrase. Ash and Misty were completely dumbfounded by a talking Meowth, but they immediately got their priority straight when they remembered that Team Rocket were trying to rob the Pokémon Center. Team Rocket stood in matching uniforms, smug and theatrical, with Ekans and Coughing slithering and floating beside them. Jessie, "We're here to swipe every Pokémon in this center." James, "Especially the rare ones." Ash pulled out his Pokédex and scanned the 2 Pokémon. Pokédex, Ekans, poison type, known for wrapping and constricting prey. Coughing, poison type, emits toxic gas from multiple vents. Ash stepped forward. "Ash, you're not taking anything." Misty joined him, tossing out a Pokeball. Misty, "Staryu, let's go." Staryu spun into action, gem glowing. Ekans lunged and tried to land a Poison Fang, but Staryu dodged. Misty, "Water Pulse!" A blast of water slammed into Ekans, sending it flying into a wall. Coughing released a cloud of poison gas. Ash turned to Clefairy and yelled for Clefairy to dodge, knowing that Fairy is weak to poison. Clefairy dodged just barely. Ash then called for Clefairy to go from a metronome, not wanting Clefairy to get to close, or she would be affected by the gas. Ash, "Metronome!" Clefairy's hands glowed. She waved them slowly. As Ash hoped for lucky move, the air shimmered. A beam of psychic energy shot forward. Psybeam. Misty takes note of how strong the Psybeam was, even though it was a super effective move. It hit Coughing square in the center, spinning it out of control and knocking it into James. Jessie, groaning, "How could this happen? Meowth, do something." James, "This isn't over." Meowth, "Time to retreat." They threw down a smoke bomb. The room filled with haze. When it cleared, Team Rocket was gone. No roof damage, no chaos. Just a few scuff marks and a very confused crowd. Officer Jenny came in seconds later, and Ash and Misty explained everything that happened so that Jenny could make a report. Everything else that happened was the same in canon, with Misty deciding to travel with Ash and them deciding to travel to Power City as they head to Viridian Forest. And this is where I'll leave off the story for now. What are your thoughts on the story so far? And what are some Pokémon you think Ash should have on his team? With that being said, the X's for watching, and stay tuned for the next part.